Eric here with a new edition of STARCAST. This goes with the December 7th, 2023 horoscope. Thanks for joining me here. Lately, I have been deep into the 2024 charts. I always go a bit beyond. So 2024 is hinting at events in 25 and 26. And I have done everything that I possibly can to clear every other thing out of my schedule, and I'm opting out of as many things as possible to be able to get up every day and devote myself to writing these readings. I have the cardinal signs pretty much one work session each away from completing, maybe two, so that's a good start. This is not ordinary writing in that it's not fiction, where you can say, oh, this is just a story. No matter how deeply moved you are, you know that it's a story and doesn't have anything to do with you directly, or it's not a opinion piece or some kind of a news article that you also know doesn't have anything to do with you. The very notion of an astrology reading is that it is about you. And even if that's, true only in an indirect way, I'm writing from the solar chart, not from your personal chart, but I can tell a good story and make it relatable. And, a few of us over the years, over the decades, have gotten good at the solar chart system, and nonetheless, the milieu of the astrology reading is that it is about you. You are the milieu, and so I am very careful what I say and how I say it. I know that once these ideas go into you, they cannot really come out, and I have had the experience personally of sun sign astrologers saying things that were disturbing, and that is the exact opposite of my intent. My intent is to help you experience the astrology in a way you might not be able to if you're not astrologically trained, and you don't have this kind of crazy point of view that I have with all the stuff that I've done, plus all the planets I'm working with, especially Pluto, but a lot of Pluto's cousins and friends, and Chiron, Nessus, the centaurs being all kind of second cousins of Pluto. So my vision is to present a vision that disinhibits you from the things you might avoid that you want, and also provide some caution about what is happening. Everything needs to be taken with at least a little bit of caution, and even if that caution is knowing that a certain condition is going to exist, there'll be certain types of experiences that people are more inclined to have in a certain atmosphere and vibration in society, and then also, as best I can, spotting your opportunities for growth and expansion. And there's quite a few of those in 2024, especially with the astounding events in Aries and Taurus. These are foundational signs. They affect everyone in I think, a accentuated way. So I want to tell you a little bit about those things in this recording. But first, I want to mention that we are heading into a Mercury retrograde. I will look at that more closely in a podcast ahead of it. Today's the 7th. The retrograde begins on I believe on the 13th. That is a few hours after the new moon in Sagittarius. The new moon in Sagittarius is right in the pocket of these deep space points, the great attractor at 15 and the galactic center at 27. The new moon takes place at 20 degrees of Sag. So anything mid mutable is going to feel that, and the new moon is making a few different aspects, especially quincunx to Uranus, which kind of juices it up, and a square to Neptune, which juices it up in a certain way with incense and nice dim lights and a little bit of Brian Eno playing, hot tub bubbling. So Mercury stations retrograde in Capricorn at exactly 8.5 degrees. And the retrograde goes all the way back into Sagittarius, and it will be so for the rest of the year. The station direct, Mercury stationary direct, takes place on New Year's Day at 10 o'clock. So 2024 begins in any time zone where you're likely to be, but who knows? I've got some friends down in New Zealand and Australia and South Africa and various places. And so New Year's Day, like the night of New Year's Day, begins with Mercury stationing direct in Sagittarius, also in that pocket of the deep space points with Mars conjunct the galactic center. So we're the Sun and the Sun Earth system is in that zone right now, with today Sun conjunct the Great Attractor. That is a kind of I think of it as a watershed, a kind of a drainage ditch. It's kind of a crude way to describe a thing toward which 100,000 galaxies are all flowing at about 1 million miles an hour. I'm sure that the flat earthers will post all kinds of protests and assure me that space is not real, but whatever. And this is the unusual mystical feeling of this time of year, in my opinion. Is the Sun first forming a conjunction to the Great Attractor, and then it's in that pocket between 15 and 27 Sag, and then at 27 we have the core of the Milky Way that's called Sagittarius A star, and that is a supermassive black hole, too small to hold the galaxy together, but it seems to be a property of galaxies that there's a supermassive black hole located somewhere at the center, whatever kind of galaxy it is. We can't get that close to that many of them, but anyway. And here we are, and there is a lot of wisdom in the air at this time of year, and the nature of this galactic style of wisdom is that it is fleeting. It moves quickly, and it is unlikely to manifest the second time in the same way. This is one reason why I never am far from a pencil and a notebook, a pad, something, scraps of paper to scribble it down. So you will have insights, meditating, hit of weed, little mushrooms here and there, driving your car, taking a shower, making scrambled eggs, and you may get answers to questions that you have carried around for a long time. So more on this Mercury retrograde soon. Those of you who got my email the other night about why I'm not doing Journey Without Distance, saying less rather than more, I'm glad I woke up today feeling like, okay, I'm not ready to speak again. A little about this 2024 astrology. This is the second big experiment of Pluto and Aquarius. So Pluto was in Aquarius for a few months in 2023. Earlier in the year, I think it dipped in for like March, April, and May or something like that. It was basically in the spring. Then it retrograded back into Capricorn for the last big retrograde back into Capricorn. And now on the 20th of January, Pluto will go into Aquarius and stay there till September when it retrogrades back. So there'll be retrograde starting somewhere in, later in the year, maybe during the summer. And then it'll station direct soon after that and re-enter Aquarius November 19th. And this is a call to pay attention, a call to awakening. I think that we've been through some pretty bad stuff in the past few years. I recognize most people don't want to look at it. It's much easier to think that we had a pandemic and Anthony Fauci did a great job. Andrew Cuomo, thank you so much. But there's another version of that has nothing to do with anything except the control drama of the digital environment. And one of a remaining few opportunities to fully express your humanity outside of an environment of near total digital control. And when you think about why anyone might need drones following you through national park when you're hiking, or cameras in forests, straight out of 1984, by the way. Orwell was warning about cameras in forests in 1948. We're pushing a century there. Humanity is gradually being converted into something else, and my concern is that Pluto in Aquarius is going to accelerate that process, and one of the ways it's going to accelerate that process is through ever-increasing electronic surveillance, which means control, because they don't need to be paying any attention to us whatsoever. And then, additionally, the social control of Pluto in Aquarius. And this is the best way to, get a handle on people, which is to have the control come from the social groups, circles of friends, families, organizations, church groups, one-on-one relationships, little cliques, rather than have it come from some obvious source that can be like tagged, oh, that's the NSA or something like that, right? So I am concerned that a cult mentality is going to be the keynote of Pluto in Aquarius. And that comes from the power aspect of Pluto, which sadly is the one that's more frequently embraced than the evolution concept of Pluto, the growth concept of Pluto, though Pluto does have a way of backing the unwilling into a corner and saying, it's time to grow or die. And so it's better to be willing to confront this energy head on, and the personal lesson of Pluto in Aquarius is going to be finding the strength and the willingness and the sense of necessity to stand up to groups, to not be cowed, to not fall for this bullying, which seems to have entered every facet of our lives, particularly on the internet, which has just kind of become one enormous bully pulpit and cult organizing tool. And to recognize this mentality when you see it. I wrote to a friend today who was concerned about the cult mentality that he says he's found in everything that he's gotten involved with lately, and therefore has disabused himself of those. And what I said was that the cult mentality always includes some form of the idea that your mother and father didn't really love you. Put into that anyone who might have served as a mother and father, any godparents or people, uncle, aunt who protected you, who understood you. Then imagine being told that they didn't really love you. Your dog didn't really love you. It was all an illusion. Your dog just wanted food. That kind of thing. This is the thing that is stoking the cult mentality. They didn't love you. Here's the truth. We will destabilize you, and we will then tell you the earth doesn't have a body, that the entire universe is a mirage, that the Beatles didn't really exist. I have been reading this week, last night, I guess an undelivered speech by Philip K. Dick that he wrote in 1978, science fiction author Philip K. Dick. And one of the things I've been experimenting with again is the film Waking Life. Absolutely must-see film. Give yourself space and time around it. It is a kind of a semi-animation. It's animation based on low-resolution video. So the film was shot, then it was animated using rotoscope, and the director has a love of Philip K. Dick, and there was one reference in the film late in the film, and I sniffed around till I found it. It wasn't that hard, but I just had to kind of trace a line to it. Essay called "How to Build a Universe That Doesn't Fall Apart 2 Days Later." This is an undelivered, I guess, some kind of a commencement address by Philip K. Dick, who wrote the story that became Blade Runner and many other things, and passed away in 1982. And in this he writes, and I address this to all who talk about how fake everything is, and I don't mean most things, I mean everything. He wrote, "The power of spurious realities battering at us today. These deliberately manufactured fakes never penetrate to the heart of true human beings." And this is in the time we are entering going to be the necessary metric of what is true, of what is false, and whether you are sufficiently tuned to your own senses and your sensus communis, the place where your senses meet, where you then from there mediate your reality and guide yourself through this tenuous place, this place that's full of all of these seeming mental traps and falsehoods. Your heart has to guide you, and by that, I don't mean this in some new age sense. I mean your genuine sense of who and what you love, and who and what you value and appreciate on a level that's difficult to put into words. I mean, if you have ever had a love affair with an animal, you know there's no way to put that into words. I mean, and it does not matter if this is a skunk who visits you and you give the skunk a banana every morning or every night, or your own cat or your bird or your dog or your goat or your cow who you milk. Can't really describe that relationship easily. And so when you've got that indescribable, you can't quite say what it is, admiration and a sense of awe of existence, that's coming from the heart. And so I mean, just to give one loose example, there are many Beatles songs that when I hear them, I move to tears. I have had transcendent experiences listening to everything from Strawberry Fields Forever to playing Band on the Run over and over again the past couple of weeks. That sense of being moved in an indescribable way, that is the mark of truth. That is the mark of reality. And it comes with a sense of gratitude and appreciation and no special need to analyze anything. And we are going to need this to guide us through this time. Now, I haven't said that much about 2024 except in this somewhat roundabout way. And I'm going to keep going on this on this theme. I did a bit on it last week on Planet Waves FM. I'll probably do a program on tomorrow. There is so much kind of super high energy astrology, particularly in the month of April. I mean, April is just astounding between the all-American eclipse on April the 8th, and then the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus about 12 days later on the 20th. This is, I think, going to be a time like no other. And we're here now. We get to, I assume that we're all going to be here for the month of April 2024. We actually get to live through this and experience this, and to make our contribution in whatever small way, particularly to the people immediately around us, to be moved and to allow events to make an impression on us. And even though there seems to be so much that is going wrong, and there seem to be some few people intent on either making things not work out for most of us, or just simply being driven by greed and power. Nonetheless, the Dharma remains intact. The Dharma is unchanged and is always available to be contacted, to inform you, to inform your choices and your perceptions, and the actions that you take as a result of those perceptions and responses to the world around you and the people and critters around you. Okay, so that is my contribution for the moment. I'm going to package this up and begin the Pisces reading, wherein I will commence with what Barbara Hand-Cloud called the elephant in the room, Neptune in Pisces, that is not getting enough airplay. Neptune just has a way of disappearing. It can be right there in the chart, and you're staring right at it, and you're looking for that little blue trident, and you don't see it anywhere. It's like, oh, where is it? Once I was looking for it, and I was doing a reading outside, and started to rain, and a raindrop hit Neptune, and Neptune smudged, and then I could see it. Strange thing, that. Okay. I think, look for me tomorrow if you're interested. In the evening, New York time, planetwaves.fm. Opt-ins all over the place for somewhere in between. The price is now $144 for all 12 signs. If you're a subscriber, you may write for a discount code. Thank you for supporting Planet Waves, taking advantage of the work that I'm doing, and for your kind and loving notes and letters and things you send me in the mail and all of that. Okay, back with you again soon. Lots of love, and bye for now.